Welcome to this Word of Hope. It's Tuesday, January 7th, and we're in the second week of Christmas. Yesterday, we heard about Jesus leaving home, leaving Nazareth, moving to Capernaum, and establishing and beginning his ministry. And yesterday, Matthew tells of the wonderful things that he did, the curing of a variety of people, the casting out demons, preaching in a very compelling way, and people from all over were coming to this northern area back at the edge of the Judean kingdom, sort of right there at the top, and people were coming and were compelled by him. Today, we have that very famous story on the mountain where the disciples are still trying to figure out who Jesus is. And there are this massive amount of people before them. How are they going to feed them? They're hungry. What are they going to do? And Jesus, in his particular way, says, well, why don't you feed them yourself? The disciples can't see themselves really in Christ right at that moment. They can't bridge that gap of the kinds of work that Jesus is doing and what they're capable of doing as well. But the mystery of the incarnation in this Christmas is that God became one of us. And part of Jesus' mission was to show how we, in the fullness of our humanity, are able to connect with the divine, to work with God, to collaborate with God, to participate with God in God's saving work. Jesus, in this miraculous multiplication of the loaves, also illuminated the minds of his disciples that they partake in this. They distributed that bread. They were the ones that brought it. And we know later on, when Jesus sends them out, they're going to also have his power to heal the sick, to cast out demons. The whole mystery of the incarnation of God becoming human is a mystery of the very essence of God and how he sees himself in us. He is a Trinity. He is a relationship of persons, first and foremost. And therefore, we, in our fullness of our humanity, are a relationship of persons. And Christ bridges the humanity and the divine in himself, showing that God, the divine, wants a relationship with us, wants us to participate with him, in him, through him, wants us to experience and understand how God sees us, because God does indeed see himself in us. And through Christ begins to teach his disciples what that actually means. And so he invites his disciples to help him, participate with him. The disciples first need to learn to begin to see themselves in him, need to open themselves up to what Christ is saying. And as we too are at the beginning of hearing the beginnings of Christ's ministry, let us hear, what is it that God needs of us? Where are those ways in which God just doesn't want us to just simply be in the same space as him, but truly collaborate with him to achieve things that maybe we could never understand or imagine for ourselves? This is the story of the church. This has been happening for thousands of years now. What will this year bring for the world through you when God asks of you to work with him in the vineyard? God bless.